Grave Reviews, this is Chris.
Have you checked the children?
There's no children here. It's not safe for them.
This is Alan, and Chris is right. Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences. Your discretion is advised. Grave Reviews presents Thursday Night Frights. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone today? I hope you're all doing well. My good friend Chris, how is your day, sir?
Doing well. It's a beautiful day outside, a little warm, but got out of work not at a bad time. Squeezed a movie watch in for the third time this week, so yeah, can't complain.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I'm doing great, man. I didn't get a chance to squeeze a movie chat in, or a movie, or the full movie in today. I watched the full movie. Well, yesterday would have been the third time for the show, and then today I watched a behind the scenes like making of, and picked up some really cool tidbits I hope to share through the night tonight. So
Nice.
I think that should work real well. And it looks like our chat room is hopping again. We gotta love it. Thank you to all of you who are in the chat. You are a member of our Talking Dead simply by being here tonight, and we appreciate you being here. Whether you're on X, Facebook, or YouTube, welcome to the family. Gabba Gabba, we accept you. One of us. So I'm really excited about tonight. We're talking about a really fun movie, but not only that, but for the first time since we've become officially Grave Reviews, we have guests.
We
We do. We have from the Tuesday Night Terror Vision, right? We have Etep and Trina, and we are so excited to have them. They're really good people. We got the guest on their show a few weeks back.
Yep.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
So let's bring them on board here and say hello, and then we'll go from there. Well, hello, Miss Trina. Hello, Mr. Etep. How is your night tonight?
Hey guys, thanks for having us. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to this review. This is awesome.
Great to be here, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
No-
welcome. We had to talk about this movie. We wanted to do this movie and said let's bring some our new friends in and to talk about this one because this is a remake. This is a Zack Snyder, first shot at directorial debut here,
Yes.
with James Gunn in the background with the screenplay.
Pretty strong group of guys making a movie here. It's funny. I've said this, and all my advertisement leading up to this tonight was that this was a remake, but really and truthfully, was it? It doesn't seem like it was more of a reimagining because while they kept a couple of the main points, they really came at this movie from a completely different angle.
They did, and I liked watching this again. Like I said, I haven't seen it in so long. I honestly never noticed Tom Savini's cameo before
Loved
as,
it.
as the sheriff.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Ken, is it Ken Cole? Not Ken Coleman, is it? That he was in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was the televangelist preacher. They showed on the TV in that
Foree.
scene.
Yeah, Foree.
Ken Foree. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ken Foree. But yeah, it was definitely more towards the reimagining than a remake. The main beats were there, the mall and the play on the consumerism, and maybe they're going back because they remember it. The beats were there, but
Right.
it was different enough to make it stand on its own almost.
I think what they did on this was while the consumerism was a part of it, and the mall was definitely the mainframe. In the first one, it was matter of fact, it was literally "I shop, therefore I am" was the motto on set,
Right.
right, of the first one.
Mhm.
This one, it was more about yes, let's take that aspect, but let's see what it is to be a human in an apocalyptic scenario and how do you escape the mall which was really a different point of view as far as the emphasis is concerned, and that's what kind of gave us that twist. That's the way I saw it, and I also love the fact that the zombies in this, you're talking about the commercialism. The zombies were seen as in the original, they were seen as the corporations. You must conform and become one of us. So I like that play. I really, really like that play. But yeah, as soon as I heard that quote from the original, I shop, therefore I am. I was like, oh, that's pretty deep. I like that.
I think, especially Zack Snyder, coming into this, he had the power behind him with the screenplay to make an action movie out of a zombie movie. And we get the opening scenes of the hospital, which I believe were added in afterwards. But going into the night, two lovers, they're married, the bulletin's going off while they're in the shower, and they go to sleep. You wake up, and you have Vivian, the little girl that was roller skating in the front yard, is now in a dress. Oh, what's wrong? Get up. And it's go. It's just go. And when she pops up from the ground and starts running, you're like, oh no, you're breaking rules. You're straight breaking rules.
Yeah. And it was 13, I think it was 13 and a half to 14 minutes, the beginning of this movie, from the first scene of the hospital until the car wreck into the gas station explosion. That first 13 and a half to 14 minutes could very well be one of the most well orchestrated plays on your psyche to set up the dread of a movie in movie history. It was true to me. It was truly disturbing.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that. Just like you said, that first 13, 14 minutes there, they come at you with so much, and it's just bang. Once the wheels, it starts rolling downhill, it's like, you're immersed into it. And looking back, because you mentioned James Gunn did the screenplay for this, you can really see his fingerprints all over this, looking at it now. Having watched so many of the movies that he's written and directed, it's very, very James Gunn at times. But the Snyder, the Zack Snyder slow-mo, and it's like the rounds with the bullets, the shell casings hitting the ground. I'm like, oh,
the need to show us snuff the cigarette with the boot,
right?
It's all those shots that, I think he might have a foot fetish.
He's not quite Tarantino, but he's close.
Right. Absolutely.
Until he writes himself into a scene with Selma Hayek.
Right.
We'll see.
But let's face it, at that point in time, which one of the four of us would not have written ourselves into a scene?
Oh, absolutely. He gets legend status right there. Cause you know what I'm going to do? And she was like, yeah, okay.
Okay, whatever.
She's getting paid. She's getting paid huge money for that.
You want to do what?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to do what to my foot? Okay. It's fine. Okay. Mira, that's fine. No problem. No problem. I went, Charles. She's Gucci. Sorry.
And Tina in the chat just made a really good point. When she was trying to get out of that bathroom when her husband was trying to get in, that scene was again, the first 13 and a half minutes of this movie it's like it hits the ground and it slowly picks up pace, and then it is a dead run and you don't get a breath.
Yeah. Well,
until she wrecks that car, you do not get a breath.
No, true. Yeah. And the way Lewis had played his part where he turns, he's dead, you turn, he's up, he turns to her. The look in his eyes and the way he held his facial expressions coming into this, it's like this mixture of pain and lust and that was creepy. Seeing that the first time, it was one of those oh shit. And he can run. this is not good. This is not
No.
good. Zombies are supposed to be able to get away from them, and man, these guys are going without limbs faster than I could probably go. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that he was running after that car barefooted, the way he was running, you know? But I loved right at the point where he almost catches the rear bumper of the car, he notices someone's in their front yard and how he just veers. You know, very okay, so there were 3 stages of zombies in this movie, right? And it's funny because when you as you watch the movie progress, you see it when you this first 15 minutes of it, these are all fresh zombies. They're all, you know, there's no decay, there's nothing that shows that they're dead other than their wounds, which is, you know, kind of like you would see at a hospital emergency room.
whatever got eaten.
Right. So, and they did it
Yep.
this way on purpose. And then in the middle of the movie, right, you're starting to see a little bit of decay come in, a little bit of the flesh hanging off, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the movie, when you see them, they're completely decayed. You know, so they did that purposely on that way, and it made you follow the progression of what the your heroes, if you will, are following with them. And I thought it was brilliantly done. It was just brilliantly done.
Yeah, like we're covering the beginning of this movie, and yeah, I could not agree more. It was very, to me, reminiscent of the original, because the original opens up this very similar, although not the same, you know, circumstances. It's more in, you know, it's in the newsroom, the studio, and everything. But yeah, it's going and going and going. So I liked that they kind of kept that consistent.
Yep.
But that I did appreciate the difference in this movie, how you kind of got into the action right away, instead of with the original it was more of like the intrigue of what's happening, what's going on. It was more like run for your lives in this movie.
And at no point in this movie do they tell you what's going on.
Right.
They don't have to. They do a great job. That God's eye view that you get when we're coming out and you're in the chopper, you're above the chopper, you see the heat sink coming off of the chopper, and then this van comes out of nowhere, wipes out another car, blowing up a gas station, and you see it across all of Milwaukee. It is just, it's on fire. It's not fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
but
Algonquin. That's
that's the way
Algonquin.
I have
Good
to do that.
lands.
Right.
And that's perfect way to put it, Chris, because it did. You know, they wanted you, and it's funny. Ty Burrell, who I love, by the way, his role in this, I'd forgotten he was in it. You know, and we've seen him in Modern Family for so long and loved him in that, and then to see him be an asshole, I just loved him in this. But he had an interview and he said, you know, he goes, I see this movie one of 2 ways. Right? You're either looking at the commercialism and greed and blah, 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 or you're looking at it as this is an apocalypse end of the world movie, because it is both.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of your choice on which way you want to see it. And I really liked that analogy from him. I thought that was a really, really good way to put it, because it is. As the viewer, especially the first time I saw it, I was looking at the commercialism part of it because I'd seen the original. Saw this one, was lucky enough to see this one in the theater. This time when I watched it more from that end of the world point of view, and I enjoyed it both ways. So I get it.
Well, society starts to crumble, and how it crumbles is amazing when you start looking at survival of not just the individual, but now the species.
Yep.
And how people take that. And we got all sides of it. We got the calm and the collected, and then the ones that are not.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I love it. I love the fact that it really did bring out in most zombie movies it does this. Even the Walking Dead TV series, those who are people who are good excel at being good. Those people who are bad excel at being bad.
Yep.
And Tina, I'm with you. I loved Ving Rhames in this. I thought he did.
Oh yeah, he's legendary.
Yeah,
That
this
was-
cast was nearly perfect.
that was one of my main takeaways after watching this last night was I had forgotten how good Ving Rhames was in this movie. Like, I mean, he just has a quiet gravitas, if that makes sense, about him.
Mm-hmm.
That just he doesn't even have to say anything. It's just a look, a head turn, a facial expression, and maybe a word or and he can just convey. And yeah, he commands that attention. I mean, he's a hulking man anyway.
Yes.
I mean,
Huge,
but yeah,
bulging.
he was great in this. Just and Sarah Polley and him played off each other, and I remember her in different stuff since she was because she's a year older than me, so I remember her in stuff from when she was a kid,
Right.
still because she was in a lot of stuff that my sisters watched even. So, and that's another one. It's like she's an underrated lead in this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And she was great.
Yeah, like that. I don't think she'd ever really done an action type movie
No.
really before this.
No.
And while we're talking about the cast, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Kim Foree that was in this. She not only she bared it all and got down with the sickness with Ty Burrell during the mall scene, but she was also in a movie called M is for MILF, which I'm going to watch for research purposes.
I'll have to make note of that.
Is it a horror movie?
I'm actually making note right now.
I think it's a short, but I believe it is listed as a horror. It's a horror short. And
Nice.
now take this as you will. And the writer and directors of this are Benjamin and Seth Epstein. There's a lot of my cousins in the business.
There's a lot going on right now.
Well, okay, so I don't want to get into that. I was just going to ask if they're related, but maybe we shouldn't get into that.
Yeah,
Let's not.
So that's just
Let's not.
So a shout out to Kim Foree for her role in this movie, which I don't want to jump ahead, but I thought her death was very undeserved. And when we get to when we talk about character intelligence, we'll cross that bridge because oh my God, there's a lot, and I understand it's a horror trope, but I'm just like
Yes.
I'm watching some of this going like, oh come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait till we get to those moments because there's a few of them that stick out in my head.
I love it because there are points in this movie where you're literally yelling at the TV like it's almost like don't go in the basement, right? It's like it's that moment. What do you do? You know better.
Yeah.
Don't go in the basement.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do that with horror movies, right? Because we're sitting there like, no, what are you doing? You don't do that.
Hey, you know not to leave Ty Burrell in charge of the door if you're going to be coming back. You know that, so why are you doing it?
Damn it, Steve! You had one job.
One job, dude.
One job. It was to not go in the basement.
That's all you had to do.
Failed.
You failed.
Right.
Anyway.
And we're going to use the dog to run across the street. And the girl that is imprinted upon that dog, no one paid attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was her name? Nicole? I think it was Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole, what are you doing, sweetheart? Come back. Don't you sweet summer child. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. And again, you're yelling, don't go in the basement.
I felt bad that the gun shop guy, Andy, got
Yes.
I was like, no. When I remember seeing it the first time, I was like, not Andy. I wanted to see him meet up with Ving Rhames.
Yes,
Like
I did
those two
too.
needed to get together and like be a zombie destroying force of nature, but alas, it was not to be.
Okay, so see now we're jumping around. Let's
Yeah,
just
sorry,
jump around a
Little
little bit.
rewind.
No, sorry, I don't want to throw you
back
off.
to-
I have
Back to
It's
that
okay.
God's eye view to where we go into the beginning of the movie where we were getting the flashes like we got from the original, the TV screens, the broadcasts, the this and that going back and forth. It's catching you all up that, oh, this is global. This is huge, or at least this is bigger than this tiny little town. And we do it to Johnny Cash. When the man comes.
yes.
Oh
Yes.
So
Yes.
great. I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys did not get a chance to see this when it was released in the theaters back in 2004, you don't really fully
You,
understand
it is meant to
how
be large.
impactful that opening credit scene was.
Mm.
It was flat. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I've been watching horror films since I was way too young to be watching horror films.
Right.
I'm sitting in the theater going, like, it's hitting me like someone's actually hitting me. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it gave it, especially with that song, because it was the positions were just so stellar opposite of each other.
Yeah.
Right, not lyrically, but the sounds, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
it was literally like someone was going "Pink," right on the top of the head every time, pop, because it was hitting home. Oh, it was nice. It was like I said, the first 15 minutes probably one of the best that's been done in a long time.
Yeah, it's a ride that doesn't let you off. We don't slow down until the point where, we meet up with our survivors and we're going into the mall. And then we have a moment of,
Yes.
okay, we're all here, we're good, let's check this place out. And then you get the breather, and you only really get a breather because
Yeah.
we just go from there. I mean, it's funny that this was done during the SARS breakout, so like it drew heavily off of that when they were filming. When you have like the nowhere places, that's how it was. There was limited movement and whatnot when it came to that. So it played heavy on the time frame. But you fast forward now 20 years, and we're coming out of whatever the hell that was in 2020.
Yep.
It's still going like this is all plausible. Like we ran out of toilet paper in 3 days. So, obviously society's going to crash in minutes.
Yep, and I think that because we all went through that coof, when you see movies like this one that are well done, it kind of sits home a little harder than it normally would. Maybe that's just me. So
Sweet Studios, give him a shout out. He just released the song "Shine." It was a cover of Seven Dust today. Rocking, these guys killed it.
thank you so much for sending that to me, Chris. I did watch that on its premiere, and yeah, if you guys get a chance to, maybe LG, if you get a chance to,
Yeah,
stick
throw the
that
link in there.
let's
He
keep
he
that
hooks
up.
up with musicians all across the world. He started off with the pandemic doing basically quarantine sessions where he's playing in his studio and people were playing in theirs, and then he's melding it together. He's done some great covers. This is probably one of the best. So
Yeah.
we give him a shout out. He's had several whiskeys, so we might end up letting you in. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll play it by
Not
ear.
this week, maybe one in the future. Anyway,
So this whole group of people, not the family type. We've got Mekhi Phifer with his pregnant Russian girlfriend. We've got Anna. We've got our calm Best Buy salesman.
Best Buy salesman.
We've got a
Yeah.
cop. We've got this hapless group of people that are now they've broken into the mall. They're going to start checking it out. I love when we go to Michael goes into sporting goods, because you got a sporting goods. I mean, early 2000s, man, the mall it meant something. You might be able to buy firearm in there too at this time. So
Yeah, no doubt.
going into sporting goods, the dude picks up a croquet mallet.
That was
Okay,
my.
so that was a throwback, by the way. That was a callback.
Yes, yeah, absolute
You know,
callback. But
That's
you
a
got a
callback.
crowbar, bud.
Yeah, you trade
Yeah.
a steel bar, a hardened steel bar, for a wood, and then it broke. Which, I mean, it ended up playing into his favor, but still, it broke.
It broke.
Well, it was funny when he first picked it up. I was like, the handle on that's not going to hold up to much.
No, I'm
How
like, this
many of
is
those
not
I
a
broke as a
competition
kid?
series one.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all. I thought we might even get the scene of like, ooh, crowbar down for a croquet. Oh, down for a baseball bat. Down for, maybe
Yeah,
throw
where
some
he's
hockey
switching off.
gear
Look at this.
on. No, we went with and of course, we hear some noises in the back room, and one custodian's eating the other custodian. And we have a great little battle it out where he takes one swipe with the croquet mallet, and he chose poorly.
Yeah, he chose poorly. He did.
Straight up chose poorly. And yes, we're off.
So if I can real quick, this kill is a great kill, by the way, with the handle of the croquet mallet. He puts it in the bottom here, and it comes out the top of the skull. Again, watching the behind the scenes today, I was amazed. When they did this prosthetic head, it was so well done that you can't tell where they switch from live to prosthetic back to live. And the reason being is once they got the prosthetic done, the actor who played the janitor sat in the chair next to it, and they painted it based off of his face. And they used magnifying glasses to see where his whiskers were coming in and put the hair in the same place. I mean, they quote unquote, this is the guy who's head of the effects department said, me or my staff have never since or before seen a prosthetic head that came out that well. And it was all because the actor was willing to sit and let us do what we needed to do.
That's
really
I
cool.
love
That's
it.
pretty rad.
Super cool. That kind of stuff is just amazing to me, how they do the behind the scenes stuff like that. So,
That is practical effects. I mean,
yes. And there was so little CGI in this movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is what makes movies hold up is that, limited use of the high technology, but just the tried and true manner of, using your creativity to create.
Exactly.
What do we got going on? We can do this with foam rubber. We can do this with all kinds of stuff, and it'll look so much better.
We can use sponges to look like brain matter, and it works.
Yeah,
it just works. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I keep tonight. Our rails are painted on loose dirt.
So while that's going on back in Sporting Goods, we've got Ving Rhames up front with Anna and with Aaron and his girlfriend Luda, and dude comes out of nowhere. Security guard, maybe another worker, another maintenance worker, somewhat, comes running out. There's a close mark where you see the teeth and gnashing and what's going on. We're really close to flipping around and having Kenneth flip this thing into the fountain, trying to get it off. Anna blasts it, kind of clips him in the ear and the shoulder with the buckshot there, and turns him into a twitcher. which
I thought was cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool little thing. The twitcher was kind of a neat little thing.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got all of this stuff going on right now, to where it's not safe as far as they know. Who knows how many more there are? Let's get to the elevators. Kenneth is bleeding from slapping his arm off a metal piece of the fountain. We do see a little Luda pulling her shirt sleeves down as they're all running for the elevator. If you're paying attention, there's some. It pays off, and they hit the elevator, go to the elevator to meet 3 moron security guys with guns.
To call them morons is a safe bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mall cops have like revolvers. It was so jarring. I'm like, and what's his name? Michael Kelly that plays CJ.
Yeah. Oh, he was great.
Dude, and this character right here has such an arc in this movie because
really does.
This scene when we meet him, you're like, I hate this guy. What a fucking prick. Like he's just that abrasive, and you're like, this guy's an idiot. And then the movie goes on, and you're like, oh damn, like he, and then so you root for him,
right?
But no,
this scene he has the biggest arc of the characters. I
He
believe.
does.
Yeah.
No, he does.
Absolutely.
Really, from introduction to his demise it's nothing short of like, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a zombie horror movie, for a character to have that much of an arc, and you can actually look back and be like, his arc is better than the two leads.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
and not just for a zombie horror movie, just for a horror movie in general. To real,
Mhm.
and that was the one thing again that as we were talking earlier, as I had tried to allude to a little bit, is this movie really was more about the people and how they reacted than it was the um the apocalypse part of it, if you will,
Yeah.
in the consumption part of it. So yeah, I agree, man. Oh, what a great arc! I was with you. I hated this guy the first time I saw this. By the end of the movie, I'm rooting for him, going, "Yeah, baby, you go."
Yeah. A lot of that has to do with when they put him in timeout. I think was part of that character growth. Reading Cosmo,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like, well, the only best thing for a relationship is trust.
The cornerstones of a good relationship, right
Cornerstones.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that they put him in timeout. That's a great way to put it.
So some back and forth. The security bros are going to bring this whole squad in. They're going to take their weapons, but basically we're going to babysit you, and don't want you doing anything stupid. You already blew up Metropolis downstairs, so we got to go clean that up. And this is where we get that Tom Savini short from the news, where he's just talking about, you got to shoot him in the head. You got to shoot him in the head. It's the only
Shoot him in the
way.
head. Shoot
Yeah.
him in the head.
Shoot him in the head, and it's hilarious because it's put another one in the girl over there, and then you throw them on fire and you burn them. And all right, so we go downstairs, and the kid that looks like he's like on his way to boot camp, but he's just a security guy, and where it's like he was so happy to be able to say, "Look, it's a Twitcher," and that's what do they call his name? I forget.
That's Bart.
Whatever. Fuck
That
the
one's-
fucking fucker. I told him not to go downstairs.
Told him not to go downstairs. Yep. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but at this point in the movie, I'm watching it. And I'm having so much fun.
Hmm.
I am. I'm having a good time at this point. I'm like, yeah, I miss watching movies where I just have a good time.
Yeah.
So well done. Sorry about that.
No, all good. And that's you look outside and you've got all these people that are coming here, and why are they coming here? And that line of maybe they're coming for us. Like that whole oh shit. And that's we've got Kenneth, who's trying to basically find his brother. He's trying to find his family, and that was his goal. Like, he does not care about anybody really here. God love you, God love me, bye. And he just wants to get out, and it's that realization, no, dude, everything's gone. Like, where you want to go is gone. How do we know? We just came from there. Like, it's gone. And he runs up onto the rooftop, and you can see, like, he wants to leave. He's all set. He's got his bag loaded. He's got a shotgun, and we see Andy across the way, holding up a sign like any news. And he latches on to Andy.
Quickly, yes.
Good portion of
Yeah.
this movie is that bond that he creates with Andy. It kind of, I think, saves him from him going over the edge of sanity.
I think it's really interesting how, we've got this mall with all these wonderful stores and access to food and all these things, but yet some of the most meaningful sections of this movie take place on the roof, where it's basically barren land, and it spends a lot of time on that up in that barren land, so that our characters have a chance to learn and grow. It was because I never really thought of it that way, because I'm sitting there going, they've got everything at their fingertips, right? They could survive in that mall for years easily, because there's food, there's whatever, there's clothes, whatever they need. But the most meaningful times they have are up on that roof.
It's true.
Something.
it's what introduces them to the truck drivers that are riding around with Norma, and Tucker that basically saved a bunch of people. And this is a great moment where the truck's driving around and they want to help, and CJ's like, screw that, and private dipshits over there with them, and they take control, and our survivors are now put those idiots in jail because we know better. We got to save people. We got to retain our humanity, if you would,
Right.
and save these people, which maybe not such a great idea, letting in anybody in the zombie apocalypse. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah, when they bring the lady in the wheelbarrow.
Oh my God! See, we were talking about bad character decisions right there. This is one right here. Like, Large Marge is already dead.
Yeah, you can tell too.
Like,
bite.
she's got a big old
Black
chunk
veins.
out of her hind or her front quarter there. There's already a slab of beef taken out of that. So
Her eyes are completely white.
Yep.
yeah, I'm like. Besides that, I'm like, okay, let's be honest here, and God love her, but what did she possibly have to offer the group? Nothing. Like, just, hey, look, it's shark bait. Just throw her over there for the zombies, and
I'll go check on her. I'm a nurse. It'll be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just get inside. Like, that's like, you're talking about The Walking Dead earlier. That's like Carol at the prison burning those people that were infected with the sickness from the mice because a little psycho child was, feeding the walkers mice and all that. So this was the equivalent of that. That would have been like Carol burning those people.
Absolutely.
But they didn't know at this point that it was the bite that turns.
They didn't.
No,
They did not.
It was
They
still
did not.
just all
She was the
guesswork.
reason they learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this
she actually
is
played an important part of that.
this is
Although
great.
I'm with you, I would have been like, no.
There's a great
Right?
moment
That's
where she's
like-
like, get her some water. It's like, all I can picture is Spaceballs. What am I ass? Get this bitch some Pepto-Bismol.
See, if she looked healthy and everything, like if she just looked like she needed water, like if that's all she needed, I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, let's help her out. But
Right.
you can tell that she's dead.
That there's something, right?
Yeah.
There's something going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked very diseased.
Yes.
Oh,
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and we ain't got nothing here to treat diabetes. I mean, she gets a sugar foot. We're done.
We're done. It's over.
We're done.
It's over.
We amputate her foot. We got to cauterize it. Then we got a foot laying around. And yeah, I mean,
And Anna's like, well, you watch over here. I'm going to go check on his leg over here. And he's like, what the fuck am I?
hey, yeah. Yeah, when
come
she's
back over here.
when she does the Undertaker thing and just sits up, I want to take that clip and I'm gonna put the Undertaker's Bella over and just boom.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. She sits up.
Oh no.
That was great, though. That was a good part of the movie because I feel like there's a little bit of comic relief there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
James Gunn. That's
The only
Oh yeah.
the only thing that would have made that scene any better is if in the background, right, like the music was going, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my
hello, my ragtime gal. If you abuse me, honey, you'll lose me.
Exactly.
Damn frog taught me that song.
Great part. She's dead. Yeah, a whole lot of nope there.
Yeah.
They screwed up, man. It's you don't bring somebody like
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what were we all saying? Don't go in the basement.
Don't go in the basement. So
Oh,
the
man.
wheelbarrow lady catches the poker to the eye, ends her.
Which was a really good shot, by the way.
Oh man, that whole scene, and then, well, yeah, I'll just let Chris keep going because the next what follows after is even worse.
It's good. I mean, you have we find out that Frank's been bitten. He's there with his daughter. Mr. Max Headroom himself, and she breaks the news to Michael and the rest of the crew that he's been bit. Well, now they're putting two and two together. Like, hey, you're bit. Turn. It's over. Michael's like, we got to do it, and she's like, well, what are you going to do? Put him out there? And it's that whole like, we're talking about taking him out. We're not going to open the door and let him go. Like,
Yeah.
it's over. And her booking it off and being like, Frank, Mike's coming to shoot you.
Right? I'm like, hey, you run, tell that ass bitch.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Whoa.
Like, stop. Like, we just keep it down.
Right.
You don't tell the dog. Wait, maybe this is a bad time to make that analogy.
Right.
Yeah, it's not good.
Frank, can you give us a minute? All right.
That's it's like, you don't tell him we're gonna uche him. Hey,
Yeah. You know, hey, we're gonna come here, man. Put your arm around. Let's go around back to woodshed for a minute. Why do you have the shotgun? Mice.
Mice.
Frank.
No, I
Don't
used to
worry
have
about it.
a Labrador once. Oh no.
my mother hung me on a hook once.
So this poor girl has lost her mother, her brothers, and now her father, who's literally turning in front of our eyes, like he's getting grayer by the
did
minute.
love though the fact that that Ving's character waited till he turned.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he had talked about every minute, being important, and he gives them that last minute.
And that's what he gets for being the evil dad in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Take that, Big Russ Thompson.
No, that's what he gets. That's what he gets for being Max Headroom.
Or Gas Can Man. Trash Can Man. Trash Can
Man. That's a good callback. He was great as the Trash Can Man, though. You got to admit that.
And which leads us into the our Lounge Against the Machines, Down with the Sickness, and we've got that little passage of time going by of them obviously grieving for the people they lost and trying to find out how they can continue on now while they're in the mall. And we've got a lot of rooftop messages going back and forth, some games that they're playing, and meanwhile we got the security guards that are locked up, reading Cosmo, where he's like, the top 10 things. I'm not even going to read it. Most of these are dumb, but I'll give you the top 3.
I loved when they were on the roof. They're going, shoot Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah. Jay Leno. Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. Yeah.
I could have swore the first time I saw this, there was an Oprah Winfrey reference in there, but I don't think there was. But still,
I think it was the Rosie O'Donnell, because that was the time where she was like, she had fallen from her high standing in people liking her. It's that really very dark, that macabre sense of humor that you need, that levity, because this is the new world, man. Like it or not, they're going to kill you. If you turn your back for a split second, it's over. So, we should be taking them out. And what better way to do it?
It's not like they're planning on killing you. It's just what they do. Right. It's like, it's almost like they're an animal, and this is what the animal does. So so to waste time, and they're up there with their binoculars, they're looking at the crowd of over 300 zombies were made for that day's shoot.
Yeah,
imagine that, right? And then they use the CGI to make them look like even more
gaps.
Perfectly well done. But as they're looking, he's like, yeah, take out Burt Reynolds. I was rolling. I was laughing so hard.
You guys have rough childhoods. That was great. Just it was pretty rough, huh? Listen. If I turn into one of those things, I give you full permission to blow my brains out. Foreshadowing, foreshadowing, foreshadowing.
Foreshadow.
Boy, does that one come back.
It does, but I'm going to tell you right now. Again, I'm going to say it. Ty Burrell was great in that role, and it's so hard to see him in that after seeing him as
Phil Dunphy.
as Phil for so long in Modern Family. But
Right.
God, he was great. Oh, he was so great.
Yeah, I've never seen him play that type of role before. Like, the only thing I'd really remember him from was Modern Family back when I used to watch that. And yeah, he's the bumbling, like, doting father in that, and he's like the rich playboy, just aloof asshole.
Right.
And yeah, he did it so well.
He did it so good.
I mean, just dude was on point with it. And it's crazy, like that's range as an actor, and it just speaks to him.
And it's also funny that in the behind the scenes where he's sitting there and he's dressed up and he's got the blood running and everything, and they're talking to him and he's basically Phil in real life, just but he's got the blood all over. It was so good, so good. Anyway, all right, Chris. Continue.
Yeah, we've got the we get that little spot where Anna's they all had their meal and Aaron is Andre, sorry, is packing up something to bring, and Anna's like, I should stop by and check on the pregnant lady.
Yep.
That you kind of squirrel away to somewhere in Children's, and nobody's seen her since. Nope, don't want you stopping by.
This is Pete. This is another section of the movie, just like the lady in the wheelbarrow. We, as normal human beings, we'd all be going, "What the hell is that all about? We need to go check this."
First of all, like, that's my wife again. She's looking at me, and when they get to the big reveal that she's already, going, she's turned and she's shackled up to the bed. She's like, "Yeah, I would have wanted you to kill me as soon as I turned." She's like, "Just kill me." I'm like, absolutely. Trust me, I ain't gonna hesitate.
Okay, Etep.
Or you turn.
She's like, "Do it before I turn." And she's explaining it. She's like, explain the scenario to me, and I have a pillow over her face. I mean,
well, how long before?
He's like, Etep's like, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I thought you meant now."
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like doing it right. It was like in real time. I'm like,
like chloroform, do you?
Does this smell bad? I mean, it kind of smells like chemical.
Like Lindell, it smells like chloroform now.
We got
not light in this room.
I love the parking garage, which was inspired by the fact that they were going through a huge blackout at the time in Ontario and parts of New York, to where I believe it was James Gunn walked down to like the fourth lower level in a garage and went, "Oh, I creeped the fuck out. We need to shoot something down here." And we all go down there to see something scurrying around, and it's a dog. And a zombie with no legs swinging from the damn pipes.
Yeah, when did Nadia Comaneci get casted? I was like, and she nails the dismount, and goodbye, Bart.
Oh, Bart's done.
He's just like, I love that.
I'm like, it has no legs from the knees down. Take a step back.
Right.
Just no sell it. Just move.
Just take a step back. There's nothing behind it. Take a step back.
Yeah. And so they're trying to get away from the parking garage, and we've got all these tanks of gas around them at all times that we keep having. This time it starts off with a gas pump that's down there, and we're trying to get this thing. The fence is coming down. He's spraying the gas. Give me the matches. And we have a zombie queue. And they all go up.
Yep.
Brought to you by Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
No. Brought to you by Chester's Almost Famous Barbecue and Crematorium.
Right. 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 Practical effects again. I remember seeing this scene for the first time where those guys were hanging onto the fence, and the makeup that they used to be on fire was so believable as somebody on fire. I
Yes.
thought it was so close to it. And still, it's kind of it's a little
A
off-putting.
little
there.
disturbing.
A little disturbing.
Yep.
But great part, which saves their ass. They can get out and get back up to safety, ish. Because Luda's dead, her baby's moving. Andre listens to the baby, and then muzzles Luda.
Yes.
Lot going on here.
Yeah. A lot going on here. When they hear the gunshots and start running in to find out what's going on there, it's like, oh.
Yeah, because poor Norma just decides, I'm going to go have a cigarette, and on my way, I'll stop and check in, see if they need anything.
Drop off some diapers or whatever.
Right. And again, it's that taking the last drag off of a cigarette, the slow Zack Snyder put out the cigarette butt to go in, and oh boy, has lost his damn mind. His wife is thrashing in the restraints. He's holding a little baby in a blanket, and he's like, of course, Norma, we gotta take care of some business, and brandishes the weapon, and he's like, you want to kill my family?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
line
like,
was
you want to kill my family? I'm like, hey, your family's already dead. All right, hello.
Ding, ding.
I'm not a smart man, but I know when my family's dead, Jenny. And yeah, you've got freaking zombie baby over there, and you've got mom playing 50 Shades of Grey, the zombie edition.
Yeah, right.
The not sexy edition. Like, look, I'm all for throwing a Russian woman in a bed and putting some restraints on her. But I mean,
no.
but not a zombie one.
No.
Nibble.
Look,
I said nibble, not bite.
That's a dangerous. That's a
little less
dangerous
speed
game.
would be nice here.
Time to hit return to sender on her. Send her back.
Yeah. No, comrade, we did not. There is no money back guarantee here. my
Warranty.
friend.
Warranty.
All
What's the safe
sales
word?
are final. You've taken possession and ownership. They are now your problem.
Your problem.
I am yelling, camper, camper, camper. It's my safe word.
It's great. So Norma does what any sane person would do: puts Luda out of her misery. Boom, which enrages Andre. He shoots her. She shoots him. He shoots her. She shoots him. The bullets are falling and hitting the ground, and the weight of this, and they both go down. And we've got everybody running to the gunshots. This is one of those scenes that I did not expect when we show up. We got Norma taking her last breath, and they notice that he's holding this blanket to reveal the zombie with that piggish metal scream that comes from her. Oh, that was over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what that reminded me of? If my wife is watching right now, turn the volume off from 3, 2, 1. The movie It's Alive
Yep.
from the 70s with the baby.
Yep.
That scream reminded me of the commercials
Right.
where you would see that baby with the
Oh, yeah.
hooked hand hanging out, and then that baby scream.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Okay, I'm done, babe. If you're watching now, you can turn it back on.
That's a creepy movie.
Yeah, it was.
I've never seen it.
It's
Just
a classic creepy movie.
commercial
I've never seen that
on
one.
YouTube. You'll understand where we're coming from. It's
It's wild.
I saw this coming when I was in the theater, and it still bothered me.
Yeah.
But Trina, did you say that you saw the behind the scenes today also?
I did not know.
So in order for them to make this baby up like this, instead of using makeup like they would use for adults, everything you saw was food based.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, they used yogurts and things like that. Any like strawberry jams and
All
whatever,
safe.
whatever.
Yes.
Everything's
Yeah.
safe so that the baby wouldn't absorb anything,
Yeah.
and that if it put its hand in its mouth, it would be edible.
Oh, that's
I thought
wow.
I thought that was a
Wait.
fantastic little fact on how they did that, just being conscientious. So, and also instead of putting, they didn't want to put contacts in the baby's eyes. So that's the one thing that they used that was a close-up CGI was the eyes themselves.
That was a real damn baby.
That was a real baby.
Yeah.
I never.
Yeah. Right. Damn.
I
Yep.
never realized that was. I was like, I thought it was like
No,
some kind
that
of
was a
gimmick or.
That was
you
a
know.
real baby
Just
that
the
they
eyeballs is the only thing that they tweaked on. Other than that, it was all practical effects on a real
was all
baby.
practical effects.
Wow.
And
That's
now think
awesome.
about it. That baby is now like 20 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, next thing you know, we're gonna hear this guy's trying to sue the makers of this movie, just like the dude from the Nirvana.
Yeah, from
Nirvana, yeah,
Nevermind,
yeah.
Yep.
Gotta make money
Yeah.
off of it some way.
Trauma.
Well, I didn't have any choice over my image. No, but your parents who had legal right over you at that point in time did. So shut
Right.
up and go
Right.
away.
Like, how do you go? Hey, we need to cast a baby for this role. Well, what is the baby going to be doing? Well, the baby's going to be covered in yogurt and things to make it look like an undead zombie baby. They see parents go like, "Yeah, use mine. Yeah, here you go."
Right.
Like, where they get in the bed, they go to. Never mind. There's
Hey,
never
use
mind.
my
mean,
I would
baby.
tell it on my
Makeup.
channel. I'm gonna stop right there.
That's basically feeding time for a baby anyway, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Well, I just love it though that this guy who was head of the special effects took the mother and the baby. Took the mother and sat down with her and explained exactly what they were going to do and how they were going to do it and what they were going to use. The little girl at the beginning of the movie sat down with her and her mom just to be sure that she understood what was expected and that there would be no issues with her, like she saw her daughter with that makeup or saw herself with that makeup. The guy was like really in tune to what the kids and the kids' parents needed,
Yeah.
and made a fantastic movie, special effects wise, because of it.
Oh yeah.
So, kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it looks great. It did. It's insane that it was a real baby. I'm just still tripping on the fact that it was a real damn baby that
Right.
they
Well,
had playing
all
a
right,
zombie
so-
baby. But I mean, that's awesome. It is insane that is a real baby. And then Sarah Polley had to shoot it.
So
Yeah.
then we're going to say this. We're going to say, you ready? Fun facts. Now, I can stop with the fun facts because I've already blown one of my guests' mind. So.
It was a real baby. I'm just
Son of a bitch. So
He's not
this
going to be able
is
to sleep tonight.
so this basically ends the fun dinner that they were having. I mean,
Yes.
that's over. No bringing that one back. But they get into that whole like we need to do something. We need to get out of here. Because there's some things that are worse than death, and that's sitting around here waiting to die. So I love that they're like, hey, we got some shuttle transports down in the garage. Why don't we soup them up Mad Max style? Play some Road Warriors in this bitch, and we can get out. We're gonna pick up Andy because he owns a gun store and he has everything we need, and that's the plan. And we go right into, Mad Max shuttle montage.
Yes.
Of getting a snowplow from somewhere. But
yeah.
okay.
I understand the mall having shuttles, like okay, but I mean, so this took place. Where was this supposed to be at? What
Minneapolis.
city?
Oh, no,
Minneapolis,
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Okay, so there could be a snowplow. Absolutely, it's
Absolutely.
Milwaukee. They get a lot of snow over there. Yeah, I get it. I get it. There could be a snowplow there. I was just like, now it takes.
Here's my problem.
I've put plows onto trucks before.
Yeah.
That is a process. Did
It's
these?
a frame. It has to connect to the frame.
Yeah, there's a whole
There's a lot more to it than just getting to
structure
the front end.
yeah, you can't just. It's not Legos. Like
No,
I
we
mean,
wish
if
it
it
was.
if it was, I would be in the snowplow business because
Yeah,
I'm really good with
So
Legos, not
here's
so
my
much with
statement, though.
snowplows.
This thing wasn't really even a snowplow. This was a cow pusher. It was
Just
shaped
it was shaped
Yeah,
weird.
like
yeah.
this, not concaved
Yeah,
like a snowplow.
right.
So when I first saw it put on, I was like, that looks like something they would have bolted to the front of a train. What they call cow pushers. I don't know if you guys
Right.
know that about the old.
Oh,
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But was the shuttle, the front, the suspension on that shuttle, I'm sure is not, well, this again, I'm splitting hairs here.
Right.
Okay.
And
I'm
because we've got them building this thing. I love how Michael's like, check this out. I put this thing in so you can use a chainsaw.
I loved that.
Mhm.
As excited as he was.
I did. That was awesome. But again, we're going to talk about bad decisions here very shortly. Another one,
Terribly wrong.
my third one, our third bad decision. But I'm sorry, continue. I'll shut up.
No, seriously, it's a foreshadowing of what Michael should not have done, at least in one of those shuttles.
What they should have done was, I mean, let's face it, they had the ability to put a cow pusher on the front of one of these things in 15 minutes.
Mhm.
They should have attached that chainsaw so that so when you started it, it was in position, and you run it in position, and you don't take it out. That's what they
Yeah.
So the old wing will get you every time.
Yeah, if you can put a cow pusher on the front of a mall shuttle bus, I'm sure you can put in a slide for the chainsaw and mount it.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
That's just just a thought, maybe just a thought. Anyway,
I don't know. It did wonders because now Michael and Anna are getting it on in the shuttle because that was hot, that chainsaw move.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Apparently, she's a McCullough Duden girl.
she says, "Is that a chainsaw? Or are you just happy to see me?"
Oh shit! This is a Jackal moment. I'm a lumberjack now, baby.
he says,
He ain't Jack no lumber, baby, since his chainsaw you.
he looks at her and goes,
get it.
So you like my soul, do you?
I'm still around, aren't I?
I'm going to be using it to lay some wood, baby.
no one said we were right.
No, it's not wrong. But then we find out that we go upstairs to the roof, and Andy tells Kenneth that he's starving over there, like he's out of food. So quick, call a meeting. Little afternoon delight before the meeting, and we're trying to find a way to get food over to Andy because Andy's the reason why we're going to be able to get out of here. He's got all the ammo. He's got all the guns that we might be able to take from him to bring with us. I love the moment that they have with CJ when he's talking about this plan.
Yes.
And he's like, wait, let me get this straight. You're going to go do this to the shuttles. You're going to go over there. He's going to jump out of there onto the covered wagon. We're going to do all this, and we're going to go to his boat to find some island we don't even know. And they're like, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, okay, man.
I gave it. I know. I love that part.
And this is when you know that for sure that he has
He's changed.
Yeah.
that he's like, you know what? I would rather be part of this group than die here alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. Again, what a great arc. So here, I'm going to get into this in a little bit more detail later. You know, I tell people I wouldn't recommend this movie to someone who is a borderline horror film. You know, I'll get into more detail, but the character arcs make me want to. Does that make sense? All right, we'll move on. We'll keep going.
Yeah, there's a good story
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Everybody gets some sort of redemption, whether it be a zombie or a hero move before the zombie.
Yep.
But yeah, and so Kenneth comes up with the idea like, hey, this dog has been running around with these zombies and they've left the dog alone. They want to eat us. So pack up the dog full of food, send it over. of course, this goes over great with Nicole.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that maybe we should have talked about this before we told her.
God bless Nicole.
Sweet summer child.
A sweet summer child. And so they get it. They lower the dog down. Andy's whistling. Dog comes running. He opens his little shutter gate. The dog comes in, but doesn't shut quick enough. And we get some zombies come in. And we hear over the radio that they got him. They bite like a sumbitch. And they're like, shit, like, we can't tell them, like, we'll figure this out. And there goes the truck. Where the hell's Nicole? Oh, shit. Nicole went running over to get her dog. And somehow she manages to get in there. And we hear Andy is no longer on the radio. She gets inside, finds the radio, can't find Andy. Chips is okay. And I'm not leaving. You can come get me.
She can't. She winds up having to hide in the bathroom because old Andy's going to try to eat her.
Well, she tells him right off the bat, like, I'm not going back out there. And they see Andy show up, which is that I like. We have these zombies that they're focused on that last bit of their life, whatever was kind of important with them, on how they react. And Andy is to go up on the rooftop and smear blood all over his dry erase board to show it to Kenneth. And it's, oh shit, like, he's turned. You've got to hide. A lot of screaming. The radio goes dead. And their plan needs to get into action now, not 5 days from now. We got to go.
I think that Shaun of the Dead took that to the next level, the way they did the zombies continue doing what they did in the real world. And I believe that they may have gotten that idea from this movie. And because I just love, I'm with you. I love that. Because earlier they were like, why are people coming to the mall? Why are all these zombies coming here? Well, it's because they always came here anyway.
Right. And it leaves it to a guess. We're not sure, but it sure as hell looks like whatever was stuck in their head, that they retain that slight bit of humanity before it's all gone. And then they're just looking for flesh.
Very good.
Yeah.
So Nicole's hiding in a closet. Probably not the best place to hide when a zombie's after you, but it's something. They're going to go take the sewer now to the other side of the parking lot.
And what do we all say here?
Again, dude.
Don't go in the basement.
Oh, I was thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah, right.
Turtles.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Splinter shows up.
Yeah.
It saves the day.
Look out, my turtles. Be wary of the zombies as well as the Shredder and the Foot Clan.
Little did you know the Foot Clan were really zombies.
See, that's where, it's because they ate that foot that was left up from the lady earlier.
See?
It all goes back to the foot.
It all comes together.
The agony of defeat.
Well, Etep, this isn't the wide world of sports. So what is going on here?
This is a great moment. They get through this sewer to pop up one at a time in the midst of these zombies walking around, to Tucker pulling the damn manhole cover back for thunk, waking them all up to what the hell's going on over here. And now it's go, go, go.
Yes.
You probably should have been going already, but they're able to get inside to save Nicole. Poor Kenneth has to put his brother down. His friend from rooftops. Great head explosion off of that.
This was wonderful. If you could see it slowed down frame by frame, it is fantastic how it was done.
It's scanners kind of stuff. Like, it's a good explosion.
The gray matter that comes flying out of him is kitchen sponges that you would use to wash your.
That's wild.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I'm like, how are you guys thinking this shit?
It works, man.
Love it.
Works.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's great, and now we've got to be able to get out of here. So as you do, another zombie queue. And CJ with his fascination with propane tanks. I love Nicole's like, well, how do we know when he hits it?
No, we don't know.
Kaboom!
I do love the fact that they used the flare, right? They tied the flare into it and then shot it to allow it to explode. Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Mythbusters actually did a thing where
Right.
if you shoot a propane tank with a gun, it will not
It will
explode.
not spark. It's part of the construction of every propane tank to
Yep.
avoid spark.
Yeah, so
when a breach occurs.
yeah, so they took that they took that to the next level to be sure that they were at least accurate on that. So I give them props.
Nice.
Yeah, another big explosion taking him out, which seems to like rattle their cages too, like maybe turn them into those twitchers. That it's some sort of head trick. It's not just get them in the head, but if you can clip the head, you can give them a little heavy brain trauma and
Concussion kind of thing.
yeah, turn them into some twitchy little thing over there. Not as dangerous. Still probably pretty dangerous. Don't go near it.
Well, the thing with the twitcher is you don't want to get, you'd have to walk up to it and basically hand it your hand, right? But it's
Yeah.
still going to bite you if you do. So don't do that.
Yeah.
This is a great moment where they're running into the sewer, and poor Tucker just misses the ladder, and I made me cringe that hit that he takes. But it leads to CJ pulling him by his straps while he's akimbo pistol in it.
Which was cool.
That was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Tucker
poor
went out
Tucker.
like a G, man. He went
Yeah, he
out like
did.
a G.
And then said, "Shoot me."
Yeah, I
You
love
know.
it. Kill me. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, so if we're ever there, Chris, right? We're ever there. We're at that situation, or we'll use the Shaun of the Dead situation where the zombies reach through the window and they start to pull me apart. If you've got a gun in your hand, don't shoot them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, if they've
you
got
have my
me, they got
permission
me,
to
man.
blow my brains out.
Right. They're biting me. I'm done for.
You know,
I've seen too many of these movies.
That's funny that you say that, Alan, because Trina would be like, I'm going to let him tear Etep apart because this is for him mentioned wrestling all those times.
Every single time.
See? She's like, I don't have to send
Trina, what are you
angry
doing?
walls
I
of
have my
texts
reasons.
anymore. I'll let him get ripped limb from limb.
Hey, hey, I don't believe that for a second, Etep. I think she would shoot you after you.
Yeah,
Some
she'd
point.
shoot me in the arm. I'd be like, that's my arm. She'd be like, I know.
I didn't rip that part. I left that part. Trina, what are you doing? I have my reasons.
I have my, yeah, that was like you said. That was a baller way to go, man. He was really he was trying to have his friends back and clear the way, and yeah, it was a killer way to go.
So yeah, they run back to Steve. You had one fucking job, man. One job.
God damn it, Steve.
One job. And of course, he's not there to do the job and get them back inside. So they end up losing them all. And it starts to go down. They're getting in. They've got to bust locks off here. Luckily, Anna was walking by to let them in. So we got to get into these trucks. We got to get the hell out of here. They don't follow completely the plan. Some Trina or Nicole and poor Terry are split up. And they're taking off. Come to find out, not easy to drive through thousands of zombies packed shoulder to shoulder.
No, and I all right. So let's have a little vote in the room. Okay, other than the fact is the suspension's not going to work, Etep, right? You've got this pusher on the front. You've got this machine that up to that point was going pretty quick. Would all those bodies stop that vehicle?
I mean, the sheer mass of the crowd, I think, probably could. I mean, you're not talking if it's an 18-wheeler, then okay, you're gonna have a hard time convincing me that they're gonna stop it. But this is an a mall shuttle bus, which I mean, it's probably got like a small. I imagine it's probably got a small diesel in it, though.
Yeah.
So I mean, it should have some torque, but still with all the extra weight on it and everything. I mean, yeah, I can believe like because there's probably like a close to like 1,000 of them around him there
yeah.
at least. I
They're
mean,
all
it was
there.
a horde. So yeah, I mean, I can believe they're having issues getting through those. Yeah, that wasn't really for me. Even with the pusher on the front of it, I'm still like, there's just so many of them packed
Yeah.
in so tight.
Mhm.
You know?
To me, I'm thinking you're standing on the gas. It's going to keep moving. It may not move very fast, and you're going to be going over them as they're falling,
Mhm.
Right.
but it's going to keep moving. That's my idea. I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. I think at some point you would probably like get into some slickery, slidey, goopy stuff that
That-
would probably hold you up.
That
Getting
Uh,
sucked up into the wheel wells.
Yeah,
is
like
Yeah.
you're
All right.
on
You just
greasy,
sold me,
grimy,
Chris.
zombie guts. It doesn't have
How
positive
that song goes.
traction.
yeah, there's no independent rear suspension on
No,
these
it's
things.
No.
And you turn the damn thing into a lowrider, putting that goddamn.
I mean,
plow on the
it'd be
floor.
different
Yeah.
if it was a front wheel drive or a 4-wheel drive, but it's not.
Uh,
No, I get it. No, Chris, your point was not something that I factored into it, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you. Okay,
Uh,
fair enough.
But yeah, either way, luckily we have
Zombie
CJ.
curves.
Luckily we have CJ and another can of propane. And a bigger boom, and knocks all of them away. We got to get going. This is the fun part of they're out of here.
Mhm.
Bumper to bumper, getting out of here. The saw blade is brutal.
Yes.
Going through
Mhm.
zombies. Steve screaming had me giggling, dude. When he starts going, I couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was
Yep.
hilarious.
Yep.
Basically, you see the zombie kind of get on one of the backs of the shuttles, poking his little head around, causes this accident to swirl around, brutal chainsaw flipping, cutting people in half.
As Etep has said, bad decisions happen.
This is number 4, I think. What? There's a zombie on the back of your armored shuttle. Okay, now we're driving and weaving through traffic. We've
Right.
got people standing out, not traffic, but zombies and
Mhm.
cars and wreckage. And so the best course of action is for the who had the chainsaw? It was the organ player,
Yeah,
the
Glenn.
gay organ player, the gay organ player who was telling his story to CJ and the guards when they were
Oh, that was a
incarcerated.
good point.
Yeah,
too.
he's like, please stop.
No.
But so Larry, I think, is that Larry's going to start the chainsaw up while they're having trouble standing up, and then there goes what's her name, Monica Kim Poyer, and they cuts her right through the shoulder, which was, and then yeah, everybody they crash and go side. Why didn't you just shoot the damn thing?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You have all this ammunition, just shoot
Why?
it. The chainsaw was not the best option.
Here's my opinion. It's one zombie on the outside of an armored vehicle.
Mhm.
Leave it the fuck alone.
he'd be all right.
It'll fall off eventually.
If it gets close to where you think it's going to be a problem, then you react. But your early reaction cost everybody everything, and you
Yep.
killed the hottest woman in the movie. What the hell is wrong with you?
Right. She is no more.
You
Um,
cleave.
Yeah, really. Like they were natural and perfect.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Damn.
So there's just pandemonium trying to get from one spot to the other. In the process of that, Steve is bit and turns. We get our money shot of him zombieing out and Anna going, I told you. I
So-
told you.
So another wonderful behind the scenes special effect. They took these tubes that were probably about a half inch around, and they filled them full of blood and stuff, and had an impact sprayer on them, so that the special effects artist could push the button and it would pop and blow the blood out. Right.
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 Yep.
Well, Ty said, "No, I don't want you to do that. I want to be able to control my own." So they ran the trigger down his sleeve and so forth. So he said, "Because I will be able to react better when I know versus saying go and trying to do it off of you."
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you see that scene of him like that and the blood,
Yeah.
he did all that. He did that all. That was all him. Right?
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
that was
wild.
really neat. That was really neat the way, because he's like, I'm going to know how I react, how I want to react. I just don't want to take a chance on there being a timing issue between you saying go and me doing it.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, because I've seen those delays before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a
So-
lot more than I think they would like you to see.
Yeah.
Those split seconds, that little flinch or
Yeah.
a twitch of an eye right before you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, which is funny because I mean, if you looked at the logistics of it, you would see the spray starting before the head would jerk,
Right.
right? And that's what you see in this because he knew what was coming. So I was like, perfect.
Bravo.
Perfect. Yeah.
Mm.
Perfect.
So yeah, we've got to condense everybody that's left into the last van to get the last little bit to the marina, so we can have a pint and wait for this all to blow over. Another great tense moment.
Literally the queen.
Right. Exactly.
Gonna stop me now.
Don't stop me now.
I'm having a good time.
Sorry.
No, don't be.
One of the greatest scenes ever. I still laugh myself silly every time I watch it. I'm just like, that's so bad. And I've seen it a lot.
So we've got now in this one part, you do see getting into that all into one van, you see an arm that is out with a watch on it, that comes dangerously close to a zombie. You don't see who belongs to that arm because he makes sure he gets another shot of everybody that has a watch on. You get the shot of Michael with a watch on, you get the shot of CJ with his watch on, so I think somebody got bit, and they get to the marina, which nobody knows why they crashed the boat into the dock, but they liked the way it looked, so they kept it. But they crashed into the dock. So now there's a barrier. CJ decides, I got this, go ahead, I'll catch up, and realizes, oh, that was dumb. There's no catching up here.
Yeah, and he took it like a man. I hate to say it that way. Shouldn't say that way. He took it like you would not have, like his character wouldn't have at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, he heroes it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He heroes it up. Good way to
Made
put
the sacrifice. That was the big thing for him. That completed his character arc right there. And it's like he's, laying himself on the sword for his comrades to move ahead in their journey.
And how does he do it?
An even bigger thing of gas. With another flare, and he uses, he's shooting the zombies coming in left and right. They're on him. They're all over him. Flare, boom, and the biggest explosion yet that we get, at least in front of our characters, tears up everything. It is now a complete barrier between the dead and the living, and they get to the boat, and everyone's getting on the boat, and that's when you notice Michael not getting on the boat. And he's like, yeah, this is where I get off. They got me. And I'm just going to sit here and watch the sunset. So the sunset here. And rough moment. Anna just basically fell in love again. However long took place between Lewis eating the neighbors to, Michael being eaten by the neighbors, but she fell in love again, and this is why he's not a good husband. He screwed it up again, got bit.
Yeah, it was all his fault.
All his
You
fault.
had
It's
one
okay.
job, Michael. One
Right.
job.
One job.
Don't get
Uh,
bitten.
I
Yeah.
will. I love the fact that they decided to go this route. It tied us back into the human factor that we were dealing with all along. Um, and you know, I also love the fact that the last thing you see of him as the boat's going away is him checking the load on his gun.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
Get
hear
one
the
and two.
shot.
Yep.
And it's important that like he just followed through with like this. It's survival of the species, ladies and gentlemen. That's where this movie goes back and forth between that need for the individual, that self motivating factor to keep oneself alive, but also the bigger picture that we keep getting views of skylines on fire, of overviews on fire, on news clips. Like everything is over.
Yep.
So what can I do to help the next bit of people paying it forward? Like I got me, make it worthwhile. You know, save those two, save those three, save those four. So Terry, Nicole, Anna, and Kenneth are on the boat, and they sail off to an island nobody knows if it exists or where it is, but we're gonna find it. And I love the fact that we get the movie straight through all the credits. That
Yeah.
it's a moment to where it's these little clips right down to the very end where it's just
Just
clips
like
of
the beginning.
zombies. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's just like the beginning, only in the opposite order. Right.
You-
You're getting all the clips of what's going on there,
You
and
piece together they found the old boy's video camera because he had some naked girl with him on the boat, and then we go to them finding a dinghy out in the middle of nowhere with a head in a cooler. That's new.
a live head, by the way.
I would love to know the story behind how that head made it in the cooler.
Right.
Yes.
That's interesting to me. That's a new one. Food going bad, water going bad, engine troubles, engine exploding, engine room on fire. We're adrift to an island, and damn, that dog takes off and basically rings the dinner bell.
Yeah.
And all you see are the zombies coming back at our survivors. We don't know if they made it or not, but it's heavily implied that
They don't make it.
they probably got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a roller coaster ride this movie is. You know, we talked about it early on. The first 15 minutes of the movie almost is just like nonstop. It slowly builds and then takes off. And then you get a little bit of a lull where they're building characters. And then as it starts to take off again, it starts to do the same thing the beginning did. It slowly builds and then it takes off and it keeps you going to the very end. Great job. Great job.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Okay, so everyone knows okay, couple things. First of all, if you were in tonight and tonight was your first night being in the chat room, which I believe Swede was, and he unfortunately had to step out.
Yep.
Anytime you come into our chat room or anytime you are watching one of our shows, you are automatically a member of the Talking Dead. There's no charges to be involved there. You are just one of us, as we like to often say. We accept you. You are indeed one of us. Welcome to the show. You are a member of the Talking Dead. So, Etep, Trina, consider yourselves members of the Talking Dead now. We appreciate you guys coming in and being here tonight. If we were to rate this movie, 1 being a miserable dredge, I'm actually angry that I spent an hour and a half of my life that I'll never get back. 10 being this thing transcends the horror genre. I don't care if you like horror or not. You need to watch it. 5 hits all the marks, right? 5 hits all the marks. I'm not disappointed. It's a pretty good movie. I would recommend it to some, but maybe not all. What have you. Etep, where would you put this movie on? And there's no right or wrong answer here. This is all completely opinion. Where would you put this movie on that scale?
It's tough because I'm rough on Zack Snyder. I am, admittedly, I'm very rough on Zack Snyder. But this was so early on. It was honestly, it's better than I remembered. And I watched the director's cut, which is 110 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I really did. I'm not a fan of the running zombies, though. I've never been in the running zombie camp. But for intents and purposes in this movie, in the world that it exists, it worked.
Yes.
And it did. It worked, and it wasn't it wasn't done too much, you know. I think if we would have seen over the course of time, we would have seen less of that because of the rate of decay and everything. And I'm going off on a tangent again. All right.
No,
So
I
if
love that. I love that idea. Actually, that's in my mind canon. That's exactly what happens. So
Yeah.
they have to slow down until, you know, they bite somebody, you have a new zombie, and then, you know, it perpetuates itself for the life cycle of the zombies. They eventually get to the stage where all they can do is just amble around and just aimlessly shuffle and can't
Mhm.
really do anything. But no, I liked, I did, I enjoyed this. I would I would give it an honest 5 and say it hits all the marks for me.
Okay.
Honestly, in the horror genre, in the zombie genre especially, it did. Like I said, even being rough on Zack Snyder, no, this had pretty much everything you know, in a zombie movie, a serious tone movie with those little bits of levity, thanks to James Gunn, obviously. But it didn't really ever, it's not James Gunn Marvel humor where it breaks the tension and ruins it, because that wasn't allowed to happen in this. When there was those brief moments of levity, they didn't, you know, poo-poo the serious moments at all. That was still the main thing. Yeah, I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5.
Okay. And what about
Cool.
you, Trina? What do you think?
Yeah, I usually don't like zombie movies in general, and I'm the same way. I'm not a fan of fast zombies, but I feel like this movie, it really, it really did an awesome job, and I think the fast zombies work in this movie.
Yes.
The character development and the character arc, so well done, you know, for just a movie in general, but especially for a horror movie. And then on top of that, for a zombie movie, yeah, very impressed. And it is a deviation from, you know, the original, but I feel like it's still good in its own right. And yeah, I'm gonna have to give it an 8.
I love that.
Solid.
I love that. I love that. So what do you think, Chris?
Well, I took to this movie when it first came out. I was excited to see this movie because it was built up as going to be a fresh take on the zombie lore, if you will. And like I said, when that little girl jumped up and started running at the door, it was one of those, oh, you son of a bitch, you can't change the rules because then that makes it creepier. And
Yeah.
I like the fact that it did make that change. And we know Zack Snyder is a very visual, like a lot of people give him crap as far as not knowing how to use film to relate politics, to relate current events, any of that, like a lot of filmmakers do. He's a very visual guy and he likes what he likes. It's his aesthetic. So this being his first big one, I think it was done really well. His cut of it didn't contain half the slow-mo that we get from him now. So, you know, we got he I liked his style in the beginning. Later on, I have some issues with Zack Snyder with some of the things. Rebel Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't
So,
even get into
so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was really good. It was a good take on it. There's no happy ending here
No.
that we can foresee. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I am going to give it. We got boobs in the end. 8.5. Just a half point.
8.5. All righty. Well, we did get boobs, so that's one thing. All right. So let's see here. We got 8.5, then we got 8, and we got 5. So all right. So
I
I'm
feel
with
like
you.
a dick for giving it a 5.
That's okay.
Everybody has what they like.
Yeah.
Hey, just where it extends, right? The character development
Yeah.
worked.
Mm.
The fact that they used running zombies worked. And the reason they did that is literally they said we get the aesthetic behind the shambling along and all that stuff, but the fast zombies are more fearful, and we needed that for this particular situation. So I get that, right? So that moves it up. The cast alone and the acting for a horror film moves it up. I'm saying that this is an 8, a good strong 8 to 8. I'm going to say 8.5 as well because I have to give it the half point because we had a couple boobs,
The roll,
right?
the roll, and we don't make the rolls.
And we don't make the rules. That was pre-established for us. So, so let's see here. So that gives us a 7.5 overall as a group. I'll accept
It's
that.
solid.
Mhm.
It's solid.
Oh.
It's 20 years old, and it's still being decent enough to watch now.
Yeah.
20 years later, it was still enjoyable. I watched it last night, and then I watched it with the commentary today, which commentary was a little bit of a letdown. That there wasn't more in there. Like there was very little trivia, very little artistic direction. It was just kind of some neat little one-offs and some ideas, but it did add to it a little bit. So yeah, I've told people to watch this movie. I would definitely say press play on this movie.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that being said, guys, I can't thank you all enough for being a part of the show tonight. We had so much fun talking to you. We had fun talking to you on your show. Had fun talking to you. I really would hope that we can try to do this again sometime.
I'd love to. Thank you so much for
absolutely.
having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a blast. Thank you. Appreciate
No,
it.
not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Hey, before we kick you out here, I want you guys to be a part of something. Chris didn't even know I was going to do this. This is kind of a surprise. We at about 3 weeks ago, right? Not even 3 weeks ago, we had said, hey, guys, we're trying our best to get to the 200 mark. We were struggling forever to get to the 200 subs on YouTube, and then we said, and if we do that, then we're going to push for 250 by the end of May, and if we get to 250 by the end of May, we're going to have a giveaway and give away all kinds of some Grave Review merch. I actually have a really cool travel cup here that's a one of a kind. There's only 2 of them made. Chris is getting one, and then instead of me keeping mine, I'm going to give mine to a subscriber. And so we want to do that. But what I really want to do is take 1 second and say thank you for helping us hit stage 1 of our goal. Vorg, OF, the Happy Viking, Tommy, the Guinea Pig Collective, I love that name, Sean, Etep, Crazy Big JJ, Steve Long, Horror Figs and Shiz, Big Bot Studios, and Cy M. You guys rock. We appreciate you. Thank you for helping us make our 200 mark and seeing us on forward to our 250. So wanted you guys to be here and be a part of that, and so I could say thank you up front. I appreciate you very much. So if you guys want to hang around in the green room for a little bit, we'd love to talk to you for a little bit after the show. Chris and I have something important we have to do, which is to
take care of some shit.
Take care of some shit. Exactly. Good night, everybody. Good night, you two.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Having them on was great. Yeah. So we do rate, right? The rating is based on the film, its merits, its history, so on and so forth. But the shit list is more about these are movies that we love. This is why we love it, and this is the order we're putting it in. It has nothing to do with overall ratings. It has more to do with rewatchability and enjoyability. right? And I'm willing to tell you that for myself, I'm curious what you might have to say on this one, Chris.
I've been kicking this around all day, man, because this is hard. Because I really liked this movie when it came out.
I do too.
And
I like it too.
I really like it now, 20 years later, after watching it a couple times this week. So, we're gonna be high up on this list. I can say I cannot, with good peace of mind, put it in the top 5.
Okay. Okay, I think you and I are going to be pretty close to what we're on the same page here. If I may,
if
I were going to do this. If I were going to do this on my own, I would stick this movie either in 6 or in 7. I would be right in that range.
Okay.
American Werewolf is a classic. I have told you this. It's not my favorite werewolf movie by any means, but it's a fun movie. Do I think it's as good as everyone says it is? No. I think it is the best transformation scene ever. I think it has a good lead in, but the middle section of the movie to me is a little off. But that being said, the middle section of this movie is slightly off to the rest of it both, right?
You get a couple montages in there that kind of pull you away.
Yep. So I would say anywhere between 6 and oh boy. See, this is where the shit list gets to be weird because Tucker and Dale's at 10 and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know. Like now we're looking back going, So
anyway, I would
if I
put somewhere between 6 and 11, I think. That's my
I would actually probably put this I was kicking this back around between 8 and 9. But like I said, the shit list is also because we put it there.
Really.
So I would say you're right there with me. I'm with you on the between 6 and 11. I do kind of rate it kind of high. So I could say we could put it above Return. It's pretty close to Return for me though, because there were 2 pivotal zombie movies for me. Return of the Living Dead hit me when I was younger to where it locked me into horror. This one was a surprise for me because I didn't think I was going to like it as much when I heard about it. And then when it came out and watching it, it ranks right up there next to it. Me.
I'm with you. When I heard that it was going to be a remake, at first I was like, nah, I don't know. But then I was excited enough to go see it at the theater. Yeah. And I can't remember at the time though, did I go into it being excited to go see it, or did I go into it like,
see what happens.
It's a horror movie. Let's go see what it's all about. Either way it goes, like I said, the beginning of it, I'm going to tell you that for me personally, the title card will probably never get better than Evil Dead Rise, which is in the 3rd spot. I mean, that's just unbelievably well done. But I'm thinking that is it better than Shaun of the Dead though? Oh my God,
that's a rough one. Actually, for me personally, I've probably watched Shaun of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead equally amount of times each.
Okay. Here's my thing. I think longevity wise, it's better than Dog Soldiers, even though I like Dog Soldiers better. That's just a personal thing, but I think longevity wise, right?
Yeah.
Will we still love Dog Soldiers in 20 years?
Right.
Right. Okay. So that's the question. So I'm thinking we stick it either at 10 or at 11.
All right. We'll because of our own little faux pas on Tucker and Dale, we'll give Tucker and Dale and Alan Tudyk and his craziness a swing above Dawn of the Dead. So
but I want to say this though before we make that final decision.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale's a wonderful movie until it gets to the end when it becomes a very just so scary movie.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Right.
A wrap it up kind of movie.
Right. So let's do this. Let's go right here.
Right in between the two. Okay. I'm good with 10.
I'm good with that.
Because I wrestled with it that it's a top 10. in our list of things. Does that offend people out there? I'm sure. And you know what? It's your right to be offended, just like it's our right to offend you.
Yeah, and we're only at 27 movies right now. So I mean, come on, guys. I mean, it's it's going to get pushed
We
down.
plan on tackling some big ones coming in the future. Some obviously our bread and butter, our schlock. So there'll be movies at the end, but there's some possible movies that could put the top in the running there. At least the top 6, not counting one.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, just so you're aware, we as of right now, we have 24 patrons watching on X. So, thank you very much for joining us,
Awesome.
our friends at X. We
Thank you.
appreciate you very much. So, let's just get ready to wrap her up for the night, Chris.
All right.
Again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to everyone on Facebook, on X, and here on the YouTube. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being a member of the Talking Dead. We appreciate you just stopping in and saying hello. We love it. We love to interact with you. That's really why we do this, because we just like to talk scary movies. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. We like to laugh and cut up and have a good time. Is there, well, yeah, we don't do this enough, guys. We need you to hit the like button, please. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Like I said, we've got that push for 250 coming up, and if we get it,
Ring that bell.
that's
Get
really
notified. We hit that 250. We're going to do a giveaway, and you want to be part of it. You definitely leave a comment afterwards. Smash the like button. Go check bio.link/graverev for all the links to all of our socials, our Insta, our TikTok, our Facebook, our merch store in TeePublic.
Yes.
We got some great designs over there.
Yep.
You could pick up. We did retire one of the designs, but it's okay. We've got some ones that can fill in the gaps there, and definitely check that stuff out. If you want to leave a comment after this on the YouTube video, go right ahead. You want to call us a bunch of knuckleheads, you can go right ahead. Once again, thank you so much to Etep and Trina for joining us.
Absolutely.
That was
Check
awesome.
them out.
But part of the awesomeness that is the horror community, just some down to earth people that just like sitting down and talking about horror.
Yep.
With that being said, we don't know, but stay spooky.
Absolutely. And as I like to tell my all my people every week, whether you're here, whether you're on X, wherever we speak, I always want to say we appreciate you. And between now and next time we meet, may all your nightmares be groovy. Have a good night, everybody.